Hi, I am Bailandita Tuali from 2BPNB. In this video, I'm going to report about the futsal laws of the game, but we will just focus on the law 3, the players. Law 3, the players covers the following: number of players, number of substitution and substitutes, submission of list of players and substitutes, substitution procedure, warming up, changing the goalkeeper, offenses and sanctions, players and substitutes sent off, extra person on the pitch, goal scored with an extra person on the pitch, improper re-entry by player of the pitch, and team captain. Number 1 is the number of players. A match is played by two teams, each with a maximum of 5 players, one of whom must be the goalkeeper. A match may not start or resume if either team has fewer than 3 players. If a team has fewer than 3 players, because one or more players has deliberately left the pitch, the referees are not obliged to stop play and the advantage may be played. But the match must not resume after the ball has gone out of play if a team does not have the minimum number of 3 players. The competition rules state that all players and substitutes must be named before kickoff and a team starts a match with fewer than 5 players. Only the players and substitutes named on the team list may take part in the match upon their arrival. Number 2 is the number of substitution and substitute. So when we talk number of substitution and substitutes, an unlimited number of substitution may be made during a match. The number of substitution and substitutes cover the areas of official competitions and other matches. Official competitions, a maximum of 9 substitutes may be used in a match played in an official competition organized under the auspices of FIFA, confederation, or member associations. Competition rules must state how many substitutes may be named. So in other matches is in an official national team matches. A maximum of 10 substitutes may be used. In all other matches, a greater number of substitutes may be named and used, provided that the team concerned reach agreement on a maximum number. The referees are informed before the match. If the referees are not informed, or if no agreement is reached before the match, no more than 10 substitutes are allowed. Number 3 is the submission of list of players and substitutes. In all matches, the names of the players and substitutes may be given to the referees prior to the start of the match, whether they are present or not. Any player or substitute whose name is not given to the referees at this time may not take part in the match. Number 4 is the substitution procedure. A substitution may be made at any time, whether the ball is in play or not, except during a timeout. To replace a player with a substitute, the following applies. The player being substituted leaves the pitch via their own team's substitution zone, except as provided for in the futsal laws of the game. The player being substituted does not need to obtain either of the referee's permission to leave the pitch. The referees do not need to authorize the substitute to enter the pitch. The substitute only enters the pitch of the player being replaced as left. The substitute enters the pitch via their own team's substitution zone. The substitution is completed when a substitute fully enters the pitch via their own team's substitution zone after handing the bib to the player being replaced, unless the latter player has had to leave the pitch via another zone for any reason provided for in the futsal laws of the game, in which case the substitute shall hand the bib to the third referee. From that moment, the substitute becomes a player and the player who has been replaced becomes a substitute. Permission to proceed with the substitution may be refused under certain circumstances. Example, if the substitute's equipment is not in order. A substitute who has not completed the substitution procedure cannot restart play by taking a kick-in, penalty kick, free kick, corner kick or goal clearance, or by receiving a drop ball. The player replaced may take further part in the match. All substitutes are subject to the authority and jurisdiction of the referees, whether called upon to play or not. The number 5 is the warming up. Warming up, a maximum of 5 substitutes per team are allowed to warm up at the same time. The number 6 is the changing the goalkeeper. Any of the substitutes may be changed places with the goalkeeper without informing the referees or waiting for a stoppage in the match. Any player may change places with the goalkeeper. However, this player must do so during a stoppage in the match and must inform the referees before the change is made. A player or substitute replacing the goalkeeper must wear a goalkeeper's shirt with the player or substitute's own number on the back. Competition rules may also stipulate that a player acting as a flying goalkeeper must wear exactly the same color as the main goalkeeper's shirt. The number 7 is the offenses and sanctions. If a substitute enters the pitch before the player being replaced has left, or if during a substitution, a substitute enters the pitch from a place other than their own team's substitution zone, the referees stop play, although not immediately if they can apply the advantage. The referees caution the substitute for entering the pitch in contravention of substitution procedure and order the substitute to leave the pitch. If the referees have stopped play, it is restarted with an indirect free kick to the opposing team. If this substitute or their team also commits another offense, play is restarted in accordance with the section dedicated to Law 3 within the interpretation and recommendations part of the practical guidelines for futsal referees and other match officials. If during a substitution, the player being replaced leaves the pitch via a place other than their team's substitution zone for reasons not provided for in the futsal laws of the game, the referees stop play, although not immediately if they can apply the advantage, and caution the player for leaving the pitch in contravention of the substitution procedure. If the referees have stopped play, it is restarted with an indirect free kick to the opposing team. For any other offenses, the players concerned are cautioned. The match is restarted with an indirect free kick to the opposing team. In special cases, play is restarted in accordance with the section dedicated to Law 3 within the interpretation and recommendations part of the practical guidelines for futsal referees and other match officials. The number 8 is the player substitute sent off. A player who is sent off before submission of the team list cannot be named on the team list in any capacity. After being named on the team list and before kick-off may be replaced by a named substitute who cannot be replaced. A named substitute who is sent off, whether before or after kickoff, may not be replaced. A substitute may replace a player who is sent off after kickoff and enter the pitch after 2 minutes of playing time have elapsed following the sending off. Example, after the team has served a 2-minute and numerical reduction, provided that the substitute has the authorization of the timekeeper or the third referee, unless a goal is scored before the 2 minutes have elapsed, in which case the following conditions apply. If there are 5 players against 4 or 4 against 3, and the team with a greater number of players scores a goal, the team with fewer players may be increased by 1 player. If both teams are playing with 3 or 4 players and a goal is scored, neither team is increased until it has served its respective 2-minute numerical reduction. If there are 5 players playing against 3 and the team with 5 players scores a goal, the team with 3 players may be increased by 1 player only. If the team with fewer players scores a goal, the game continues without any change in the number of players until the 2 minutes have elapsed, unless the team with a greater number of players subsequently scores a goal in the interim. The number 9 is the extra person on the pitch. The coach and other officials named on the team list are team officials. anyone not named on the team list as a player. Substitute or team official is considered an outside agent. If a team official substitute, except as part of the substitution's procedure, set of player or outside agent enters the pitch, the referees must only stop play if there is interference with play, have the person removed when play stops, take appropriate disciplinary action if play is stopped and the interference was by a team official, substitute or sent off player. Play restarts with a direct free kick or penalty kick. An outside agent, play restarts with a drop ball. The referees must report the incident to the appropriate authorities. The number 10 is the goal scored with an extra person on the pitch. If the ball is going to the goal and the interference does not prevent a defending team player from playing the ball, the goal is awarded if the ball enters the goal, even if contact was made with the ball, unless the interference was by the attacking team. If after a goal is scored and play has restarted, the referees realize that an extra person was on the pitch when the goal was scored, the goal cannot be disallowed. If the extra person is still on the pitch, the referees must stop play, have the extra person removed, restart with a drop ball or free kick as appropriate. The referees must report the incident to the appropriate authorities. If after a goal is scored and before play restarts, the referees realize that an extra person was on the pitch when the goal was scored, the referees must disallow the goal if the extra person was a player, substitute, set of player, or official of the team that scored the goal. Play is restarted with a direct free kick from the position of the extra person. An outside agent who interfered with play by diverting the ball into the goal or preventing a defending team player from playing the ball, play is restarted with a drop ball. The referees must allow the goal if the extra person was a player, substitute, sent-off player, or team official of the team that conceded the goal, an outside agent who did not interfere with play. In all cases, the referees must have the extra person removed from the pitch. The number 11 is the improper re-entry person on the pitch. If a player who requires one of the referee's permission to re-enter the pitch does so without this permission, the referees must stop play, not immediately if the player does not interfere with play or match official or if the advantage can be applied. Caution the player for entering the pitch without permission. If the referees stop play, it must be restarted with a direct free kick from the position of the interference, with an indirect free kick if there was no interference. A player who crosses a boundary line as part of a playing movement does not commit an offense. And the number 12 is the team captain. The team captain has no special status or privileges, but has a degree of responsibility for the behavior of the team. That's all. Thank you for watching and God bless us all.